Welcome to Good News Devos on U-Nite Radio. I'm Jake.
And I'm Raina. Hey friends, to start today's episodes, we need our thinking caps. What does your thinking cap look like? Mine looks like a brain.
Nice. Mine is a cowboy hat. Got yours on? Good. Can you think of someone that you trust to do the right thing? Think about it by yourself or with the people around you.
I thought about my mom and dad.
I thought about my pastor. Hey friends listening, tell us who you thought of.
Isn't it wonderful to have people we can trust in our lives? But here's another question. Even if the person you thought of always does their best, do they always do the right thing? My mom and dad would be the first to admit they don't always get it right.
Yeah, even my pastor makes mistakes too. The people you all thought of make mistakes. Even the most trustworthy people in our lives make mistakes sometimes because everyone does. That's part of being human. Being perfect is impossible for people. That's what makes God so amazing. He is perfect. He always does what is right all the time. That's what our attribute today talks about.
This attribute is righteous. Righteous means always thinking and acting in the way that is just, right, and good. Can you say God is righteous with us on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3.
God is righteous. Psalm 145, verse 17 says, "The Lord is righteous in all his ways and kind in all his works." The Lord is a name for God. This name reminds us that God is in charge of the whole world.
When it says that God is righteous in all his ways, that means that everything God thinks, says, and does is right and good. You can count on God to always do what is right. He never chooses to do something wrong or makes a mistake on accident, and he never will.
This verse also tells us that God is kind in all his works. Everything God does, he does because of his kindness. You can trust that God will always do the right thing and can do it with kindness because God is righteous. Can you say God is righteous?
God is righteous. So if God is the only one who is righteous, what does that mean for you and me? Romans 3:10 says, "None is righteous, no, not one." Even if you try your very best, you won't think, say, or do what is completely right all the time.
No one is righteous because all people are born knowing how and wanting to sin. Sin makes us want to go our own way instead of the way God says is right. By ourselves, we can't be righteous. Even the prophet Isaiah, one of God's greatest servants, someone who God used to write the Bible, said that his righteousness looked like filthy rags compared to God's righteousness.
That might seem like a harsh example. Isaiah did so many great things for God, but he compared his righteousness to rags to point out how perfect God is compared to people. But guess what, friends? If you are a child of God, he has given you his righteousness.
2 Corinthians 5:21 says, "For our sake he made him to be sin who knew no sin, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God." This verse is saying that Jesus, God the Son, is totally righteous. He is without sin, but God made him to be sin. Does that mean that Jesus sinned while on earth? No. It means that when Jesus died on the cross, he took the blame as if he had sinned.
Jesus did that so that you and I could become the righteousness of God. Because of what Jesus did for you, God gives you his righteousness. If you are a child of God, you can live righteously because God has given you his righteousness. You and I won't be perfect because we aren't God, but you can think, do, and say things in a righteous way because of God.
You can trust God to always be righteous and to help you live righteously. You and I live in a world where people want to live life their own way. You may have even heard people say that you should do what is right for you. Many people think that this is the right way to live. But friends, if you are a child of God, you can trust that God's way is always the right way because God is righteous. You can live righteously because of God's righteousness in you.
If you are not a child of God, he wants you to know that he is ready to give his righteousness to you when you believe in Jesus. Your sin, your unrighteousness, keeps you separated from God. No amount of good works you do can compare to the righteousness of God, and they can't rescue you from sin. But Jesus lived a perfect, righteous life and died on the cross to take your punishment so that you could be saved and have God's righteousness.
If you believe in who Jesus is and what he did to save you, God promises to make you his child. You will have a relationship with God right away. That relationship will last forever and ever. While you're living on earth, God will always be with you to help you live righteously. Will you believe in Jesus today? If you have more questions about what that means, talk to an adult you trust who is also a child of God, like your pastor, parents, or a trusted friend.
Hey friends, say God is righteous one more time with us on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
God is righteous.
Thanks for tuning in to Good News Devos to explore God's attributes with us.
We hope that knowing more about who God is will help you grow closer to him.
Don't forget to tune in next time to find out more about our amazing God.
If next time is too long to wait, check out our free devotional app, U-Nite Kids. U-Nite Kids has a lot of devotionals, puzzles, games, and more to help you learn about God and grow closer to him. Ask your mom or dad to check out the link in this episode's description to learn more. Bye, friends.
Bye.